Jason,
Nate,
and Rod from Spoon CCW here in Ohio. In recent months, we've had a lot of women who are interested in off-body carry in our concealed carry classes. So to formulate a good opinion on it, what we did was we grabbed some random purses, as you can see here, and went to the range and made some pretty surprising discoveries.
I guess the first thing we discovered was the inside of the purse makes a huge difference on how you can carry the weapon in the purse and how you draw it. Compared to a smaller purse, you know, the size of the purse didn't matter as much as how the interior was laid out. And it was kind of surprising how much difference there was even in these three purses. It's just amazing how much difference there was when you actually went to do it.
and during the course of our range session, we attempted to securely install all these multiple holster systems, from some simple leather holsters with some steel belt clips, some fabric holsters. We even tried mounting in some paddle holsters, some circle holsters. It had, you know, each one had its own almost little niche that we could find something that worked. Some didn't. A lot didn't. We also used, along with the multiple holster systems, we attempted, you know, everything from some small revolvers and some 380s. We had an LCP that we had used. Even some, you know, got a compact M&P, little Taurus 9mm. You know, even tried some full-size 4-inch guns in them, and just had varying levels of success on, you know, kind of a multitude of different options.
Okay, so what we're going to do is kind of give you an idea of what we thought of these purses before we went to the range. Each one of us shot or attempted to draw and shoot targets out of each one of these separate purses. We tried as many firearms as we could secure in there with as many different holsters as we had available. And I guess that going into this, I thought really that this purse here was going to be the best one due to its size. I thought it was going to be the best one as far as utility. We could put the most different firearms in there, the most different types of holsters. And I also thought that being that it didn't have a over-the-shoulder strap, that would be easier to draw out of. And I guess we'll see the conclusion of that in the next part of our video series here.
I kind of thought the same thing about, you know, about this one. I thought, man, this thing's huge inside. I should be able to put, you know, anything in here, all the way up to, you know, I was thinking I could probably put a 1911 in this thing. I didn't quite like the fact that maybe it didn't have something that, you know, you're just kind of hanging on to this. But I thought, you know, just so much size and utility to it that I thought it would work out pretty good.
Now, I kind of wondered whether the side pocket on that would be a better option than inside when I first got this purse, you know, and then we checked it out, or we bought it. You know, along with the inside of it being relatively huge, I thought you could get, you know, most any gun you wanted in here up to a full-size gun. But it didn't necessarily work out that way. This pocket on this side is too small to use anything other than just to stick a revolver in there, maybe. But trying to get it out of there was the next thing. So this one, you know, had all the attributes of being a good choice. And I guess in the next video and the ones we have coming up, you'll find out what we actually thought about it and how it fared.
Now this one here I thought was probably going to be middle of the road. It's kind of gaudy looking. I don't see a lot of women carrying these snakeskin style brown purses, but really weren't going for fashion. We're going more for utility with stuff like this. It's got a decent length strap you can put over your head if you want to. It had a buckle closing mechanism. It was fairly rigid as far as, you know, mounting options and whatnot inside of there. And there's 1, 2, 3 pretty decent sized pockets. The front pocket's pretty big. Second pocket's pretty big, and then it's got a zippered pocket in the back that's about half the depth. I thought, you know, this was going to be kind of the middle of the road option and kind of a compromise either way. I didn't think we were going to be able to get as many firearms in there with as many holster options, but I thought this was going to be a pretty decent selection as far as what you could do with it and what you couldn't do with it.
Before we went to the range and played with this, I actually pegged this one. I thought this was going to be probably the one that was going to work the best. I thought you could get, you know, it was big enough you could get the most options in it. You know, it had a decently secure lid, so stuff, you know, wouldn't just come tumbling out of it. But it had this nice, you know, it does have this nice long strap. It's something you can you can wrap around your head, you can wrap around your shoulder, you can hang on to it. If somebody comes by it, you know, it's a little tougher to take it off you. Went to the range, had some different conclusions. We'll have to see our next video to see what we actually thought.
I have to agree with that. I thought this was going to be one of the best options that we had. With the crossbody strap, it was a lot more secure to your body, and but I had a pretty tough time drawing a weapon out of this purse, to tell you the truth. And you're going to see some pretty good stuff when we actually run the video. So
this little thing here, or a little black number. I got to be honest, I thought this was going to be essentially useless for carrying a firearm. The strap is very short. It's only got one. It does have good buckles, good metal buckles to secure it. It doesn't really fit over my head. If I, you know, carried it over my head like this, the purse was stuck up under here. Up around your shoulder, it was very high on my body. I don't like to draw like that. It does have a decent closing mechanism. It's got the lid on it or the flap on it's pretty heavy. It has a multitude of pockets in here, but none of them are very big. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pockets in this particular bag that you can choose from. So I think we're going to come to a wildly different conclusion in part 2 here with this purse. But I can tell you that the inside of this purse, what does make it more usable for off-body carry is inside it's got heavy fabric or foam board or cardboard stiffeners between the pockets. And that makes a very big difference in off-body carry or purse carry, as you'll see coming up. But yeah, essentially going into this, I thought this was going to be pretty unusable, and I guess we're going to probably come to a different conclusion here.
I kind of generally agree with Jason's opinion here. I thought, man, this thing isn't big enough to fit anything in. I didn't think it does have a decent construction. You know, it is actually pretty high quality. It's, you know, it's a full leather bag with, you know, like you said, metal buckles, and it's all stitched together. At the range, I was, you know, I didn't think that I'd be able to get very much for options. I thought maybe the only option you could maybe get in here would be like a little 2-shot Derringer or something. I was kind of surprised at the range of what I could fit in there. But but the results were quite interesting on this one.
And I also have to agree with this one. When I picked it up at the store, I thought, man, this is just going to be impossible to do anything with this. And you know, we got to playing around with it and trying some different things in it that you'll see in the next videos, and it's amazing how well it did work. But the thing you want to remember about off-body carry and carrying a purse like this, and even a concealed carry purse, is you have to practice at the range to do it effectively. No matter how big your purse is or what the construction is, you must practice at the range with it.
Yeah, good, solid, good fundamental practice. You know, following all your safety rules, and that's the big thing was making sure that you could draw from these too, and that's what we attempted to do. You know, at the range, was draw from all of these purses in a safe manner, because you know, if you can't do it safely, then it's no good. Anyway,
I tend to agree. Practice is the key. If you haven't sat down and gone through your fundamentals and your draw stroke, that's going to be, you know, imperative that you do that and learn how to draw from an attached holster on your body long before you attempt to modify your draw stroke into any of these bags. If you're wondering about your draw stroke, keep an eye on the video on our video channel here. We're going to be doing a couple videos on proper draw. You know, there's many other sources on YouTube, many instructors out there to help you with that. But the thing is, practice, and you have to get your draw stroke from a holster down before you attempt your drawing from either one of these purses, because you know the instability from a purse changes the whole dynamic on how you're going to get it out of it.
Yeah, between their instability and they're all, you know, every one of these is all kind of different. They got a different strap on them. They got, you know, different heights of where they were. So it kind of, you know, changed your draw stroke. You know, some of them it was actually kind of similar to actually drawing from a you know, belt mounted holster. And some of them were wildly different, but that's, you know, that's something that you really, you know, you need to be aware of.
I noticed the time it takes to draw from a purse, and of course I'm not one that carries a purse all the time, but the time it took me to draw from a purse, well, from either one of these or any of these, was much more than it took me to draw from my hip, where I normally carry my weapon. That is why it's imperative for you to practice this, and